I was so ashamed of myself that I felt like people didn't want me around, and I felt like God didn't want me around, and that I was worthless, and that I was completely hopeless, that I was a hopeless cause. My name's Liz Hunt. I was raised in a small town, many hours from Omaha. I was in a family of 6. There was 4 kids, 2 boys and 2 girls. I had very godly parents. My parents really loved Jesus. My dad taught me a lot about who Jesus is. I asked Jesus into my heart when I was 5 years old. As I grew older, I began to realize that the church we attended was abusive and controlling. They used fear of falling out of favor with God, the fear of God not loving us or God not wanting us. They used that fear to control us. And it wasn't just me, it was lots of people. There's physical abuse and sexual abuse and mental abuse and spiritual abuse and emotional abuse, like every kind of abuse that you could think of. I've been through it there. Because of the abuse and the control, everything about God to me was control, and his love, if you can call it that, was conditional. They started a church school at the church. My senior year, I had done something that went against the rules of the leadership. To them, it was almost a death sentence, and I was forced to go through a series of public humiliations. They would bring me in front of groups, and they would talk about my sins in front of this group of people, in front of my peers, in front of my family. It was because of this that I was so wholly oppressed. I just didn't know if I could do it anymore. And I remember one night I walked down to my kitchen and I opened the knife drawer. And I remember standing there staring at those knives, thinking about what I was gonna do next. All I could do was think about my little brother and my little sister, who I would be leaving in such a horrible place, unprotected. Not long after that, my sister walks in the room. And looking back now, I know that that was the Holy Spirit, that he saved me in that moment. I decided to not attend the church's discipleship program that I was at and go to one that was up here in Omaha. From then on, things just got better and better. I remember another time I went to visit a friend at a coffee shop here in Omaha after I'd moved here, and I just kind of told her my story, told her a little bit about what had happened and what had been going on in my life, and I'm sure she could tell that I felt guilty and very shameful. I'm sure it was very evident. And one of the things that she said to me that I remember to this day is that God is not angry with you. He's not mad at you. He loves you. And I remember standing there in the coffee shop, like ready to bawl my eyes out, because no one had ever said that to me before. No one had ever shared with me that Jesus. I'd never heard about a Jesus who loved without conditions. I'd never heard about a Jesus who loved you as you were, you know? And so, as time went on, God just continued to heal things in my life. Every day I started to learn a little bit more about who Jesus truly is and not who I ever thought he was before. Some of the things that I discovered about Jesus through that time is that, you know, when I came out of the place that I came from, who I was completely erased. I used to be this completely fragmented, full of shame person, and and that's not who I am anymore. And it's because Jesus gave me a totally new identity. He made me completely new. I'm a living testimony that God's love can unbind you, that it can rip apart your bondage, that it can bring freedom from your shame and guilt, that it can heal anything, that God's love is everything. What he did for us on the cross and then defeating death, that covers it all. And that's the power of his love. I never would have come out of the place that I've come out of if it weren't for the love of Jesus. And I just had to accept it and believe it, and that's it. All you have to do is say yes. All you have to do is say, I trust you, Jesus. I believe in you. That's it. His grace covers you now. Everything is covered.